He is the president and co-founder of Major League Eating, Rich Shea, here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Rich?
I'm very well, Mr. Eisen. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I mean, Rich, I got to ask you, who comes up with your stuff? Where does this come from?
That's my own doing, I guess. Some of it, can be a little canned, and then some of it can be a little bit more, at the moment. And it was an emotional moment out there. And in fact, I just got emotional listening to that call. I think I need a Cymbalta. I don't even know what Cymbalta does, but if I had one, I'd take it. In '06 when Joey beat Kobayashi, it was an amazing thing. And then, you just expect Joey to win every year. So when someone can come up and challenge him, like Stoney did last year, and then beat him like he did on Saturday, it's a great moment for Major League Eating.
For a few questions for you here, Rich. First one's first. Albert Breer of NFL Media Group wanted me to ask you this. Do you have any professional Major League Eating, competitive eating experience? Normally, color analysts bring some personal, professional experience to the table. Do you do that, Rich?
I know. I'm a social eater, and I've never tried my hand at the sport.
Okay. So
but I've been around it, obviously, for 15 years.
So sort of in a way that Howard Cosell said, I never played the game. You've never eaten the game in that way, Rich.
Right.
Because I don't know if this is hyperbole, you are the Howard Cosell of Major League Eating broadcasting, correct?
The Bob Barker of barf, I've been called, but I'll take Howard Cosell.
The Bob Barker.
Fantastic. Now, also,
Simon Cowell of the Jowl is another one that I've been called.
Oh, anything else you want to?
That's it. That's all I got.
I like it. Well, but you're a little bit more glass half full than Simon, I would think, Richard.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say?
I respect the talent on the stage, and I respect those athletes for what they're doing up there.
So what are they doing up there, Rich?
I think they're practicing the most inherent sport known to man, which is competitive eating, and it's obviously in Coney Island. It's been around since 1916. When we started the league in the late 90s, and we've been fortunate for the public to want more and more, and certainly to have that broadcast on the 4th of July helps us get it out to millions of homes. But they're eating hot dogs. And buns on the 4th of July. It's the epicenter of patriotism, and with each bite and swallow, they're proving their love of country.
Rich Shea of Major League Eating, co-founder with your brother, right? George, he's the one in the straw hat, right?
George is the Barker on stage, the straw hat, who did a fantastic job on the 4th of July, as he always does.
Oh yeah, and I mean, introducing Brian Dudlight Dudzinski. As he has eaten 30 moon pies in 8 minutes. He can also use the word dude as a noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, and exclamation. That is an excellent. I mean, Michael Buffer can learn a thing or two from your brother George.
That
right?
guy Dud Light is a real bro, and so he was working on a bro intros, and I said, wait, let me just go to my office. And I walked to my office. I got a picture of all my buddies from college, and I just gave them like 3 names: the Shermanator and Jay Bone, and all this stuff. It was very funny.
So, Rich, when the results were unofficial, as you announced towards the end, how does one make unofficial results in this competition official? Walk me through how that sausage is made. Will you, Rich?
Well, so these guys obviously are the finest at their craft, so that they eat very clean. They're neat eaters. If you got a lesser eater, sometimes there'll be a lot of detritus, and debris and flotsam and jetsam in their cups. So with a lesser eater, the judge's responsibility is to look at their cups and around their plates and analyze what deduction, if any, needs to be made. But when you're talking about Joey Chestnut, the finest eater of all time, and now Matt Stoney, these guys, they're eating cleanly. So what the judges do, and our commissioner was in the pit right in front of them, and then our deputy commissioner was on the stage. They're counting the plates just to confirm how many were done, and then they're looking. I guess obviously, Matt went to 1 extra plate and got 2 extra down.
So, Rich, you do realize that your concept of clean eating might not be the concept of the rest of the world's population view of clean eating, Rich.
Yeah, true. I mean, I appreciate that. I'm thrilled to be on your show, but Martha Stewart, for instance, has never invited us into her set.
Well, that's her loss, Rich. That's her loss.
I mean, we struggle a little bit with the older female demographic, but I see the beauty in it, and I mean, I know what you're saying. In the ladies' round, I thought Sonia Thomas, who's the Black Widow, who's probably the most storied female competitor of all time. she was eating very sloppily, and I knew that she was going to lose when I saw that she couldn't clean it up and she couldn't find a rhythm.
So, yeah, that's what Joey said afterwards. He couldn't find a rhythm. Also said that losing makes him hungry, which I thought was an interesting choice of words, Rich. How does one get a rhythm? I can't tell. Maybe I'm just coming into this, as a clean eater in the more conventional sense. How does one get a rhythm?
Well, the way I judge it, and what we were doing on the show with Paul Page there is we call it DPM, or dogs per minute.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they start off with like an 11 DPM, and then it's about where they settle in. And Joey's DPM was about a half or three-quarters of a hot dog lower than Matt's in the body of the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I can tell whether they are whether they're on pace to hit a certain number. And obviously, everyone expects Joey to crush it in the last couple minutes, but he just couldn't break into a faster sort of rhythm.
He's got the struggle face too, Rich. It looks like he's struggling. It's not like
there's two types of eaters. There really are. There are eaters who. Joey's always been the guy who you can see that he's fighting through the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's guys who just seem to have this inherent ability. Matt Stoney seemed much more relaxed after the competition and even during. Didn't have that stressful look on his face. So it was Matt's day. I think also Joey. I just had lunch with Joey, and he was a gracious gracious champ. And when he lost, he was very nice to Matt. He said he was disappointed that he wasn't more disappointed because he said, I have a great affection for Matt, and
sure.
It was awfully nice.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.